right, another Jeff Carroll Sci-fi Express Lane. This is a little cheesy topic today. I am doing this because I had some really good conversations with people about conventions. And conventions are important to comic book creators, authors. Call them book fairs. They're a little different for filmmakers, but for comic book creators, man, this is a source of revenue. It's practically the way you get your money back, for being a comic book creator. What do you call it? In comic books, there's a few ways to make money, like books. You sell them online, sell them in stores, right? And you could do crowdfunding, right? My online sales is not really that big. My convention sales are growing, and my Kickstarter sales are pretty much how I make my money back for making my comics. Because you don't really have to do anything except pay Kickstarter. Whereas with the conventions, you got expenses of travel. Well, first your booth fee, travel, and then lodging, because many times they're multi-day. I mean, there's one-day conventions, but you don't really get, it's really hard to make money back in one day for, a good grip of money. Make a couple $100, one day is really good. The best convention I've been to for one day was the Harlem Comic Convention, but that was really 2 days, It's one day open to the public, and that hit hard, but, $500-600, that's a lot to make in one day, and people do it, but it's a high bar, making 1,000, that's a goal. I'm not there yet. So when you sign up to do these conventions, they usually ask you about 8 questions, maybe 9, maybe, or 10 or less, right? But the main questions I'm gonna run through. Why are you attending the convention? Number 1, sales, meet new customers, meet industry professionals, connect with fans, sell and trade comics, learn from panels, share information on a panel, or network with other creators. And when I answered that, I didn't always know what the heck all of those different things meant. My first goal to go into a convention was to sell my comic books. Bottom line, sales. I had to have my booth together. Why are you going to the convention? Why are you getting an artist alley table? Why are you getting a booth? It's to make sales. Now, do I have a sales goal? I'm going to say 15 years, since 2010, I didn't really have a sales goal. Now, mind you, for the first 10 years, up until 2020, I was selling mostly my science fiction books. And they don't sell that well at conventions, but I was hoping to get something to ignite. I was hoping to get a book that would pick up and be like, oh snap, it's a bestseller, because all my books are available mostly on Amazon. A couple of them are available on different other sites, but Amazon represents 70-75% of the book industry, so book sales, online sales. So if you don't sell good on Amazon, you're not going to sell good. Your book is really not selling good. So I only did Amazon, and I still mostly do Amazon. All right. So that was it, sales. And we'll make a couple $100. I don't think I broke really 500. And artist alley tables started back in the days was 50 to maybe 200 was a high end one. Now, if you get an artist alley table for under $300, you're amazing. Most of them is like 300. C2E2 is 5 something. MegaCon is 5 something. And it's not even a guarantee that you'll get in. So when you see people with $5 comic books, they're looking like they're doing bundles. They're expecting multiple sales, for their comic, for their product. It is high because, you look at $5 sales, 100 people, 200 people to get to $1,000 at your table. That's really hard. That's like you got to hit. You're selling it every 5 minutes, Whereas, I may get 5 people in an hour, So my sales have to be quality sales. So that's it for sales, right? What's the next thing? Meet new customers. When I say meet new customers, I have not been to more than 3/4 of the country. I've been to New York. I did Ekbach in Philly. I've done Tampa. I've done Orlando. I've done Daytona. I've done Fort Myers. I've done Georgia. But that's it. I can pick the places. I did Motor City Black Asia Comics in Detroit. And with the black conventions, I'm not really saying that I'm getting everywhere, because even most black people don't go to these black conventions, or when I say black people, black comic book consumers. So you still got to hit the big convention in these cities. And I haven't done that. So wherever I'm going is mostly to meet new customers, people seeing and buying my books for the first time. Then meet industry professionals. I was going to Comic-Con. I've been Comic-Con 5 years without a table. This is the most expensive convention. I will use my frequent flyer miles to get there, but I was not going to, to sell comics or make any money. I was going to mostly to get my money back. I mean, to meet professionals. Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con, and I just learned at Baltimore Con, they have industry professionals. And so that is a thing. That's how I got my publishing deal for the last Harlemite. I went and presented to about 20 different publishers, and I got about 3 bites. And I went with Red 5, maybe 4, right? I went with Red 5. That's how I got my deal, because the people are right there at the convention. Then number 4 is connect with fans. I don't really have that. It's odd when I meet somebody like, oh shoot, I got one of your books, or I saw you on social media, Facebook or Instagram, and they're familiar. So those are fans. Now in Florida at SuperCon, I'm doing PalmCon this weekend. I will meet fans. I will meet people that know of my work and like my work, and we talk about it, what's next. I'm actually putting a new rival section on my table, so that, since last year at that convention, these are the books that I have that are new. So those are for my new fans, right? Then it says to sell and trade comics. I am not a trader. Do I go buy comics? Yeah, but they even from the discount bin. Like I bought about 4 books from a guy that I saw in Baltimore who had some $5 comics, and they were of comics that, graphic novels, of stories that I didn't get from my store, didn't get completed, and that's it. Like I'll do a little bin shopping, but that's it. And now that I'm traveling on plane, unless I have a big sale weekend, I'm watching my luggage weight because I have to, pay for the luggage, or I only can take a certain weight on my check bag. So I'm watching that. I don't really go to buy and trade. I'm not, somebody that has the first Superman. Nah, I don't have that. And then learn from panels. I've been to about 3 or 4 Dragon Cons before I even had my first table there. It's been very good, very lucrative. Sheesh. I hope I can go back this year, but because they haven't chose me yet or let me know. But I go for the panels. Dragon Con and Comic Con in San Diego have the best panels. I, as a new writer, new to comic books, a lover of learning, I never learned enough. So I will go to Comic Cons to learn. That's not everywhere. Now, the other one, share new information. When I first started, I was doing Yo Jeff, and all of my data information was new. So when I went to these Comic Cons, specifically Florida SuperCon, for 6-7 years, I was getting a free table because I was doing a panel, and they changed that now. So it was really even hard to get a discount on a convention table if you do panels. But that was the way that I would get like free tables, and that's like at one of the biggest conventions. SuperCon tables now are like $450, so and I don't even know if I got a table at SuperCon, my main convention. It's very hard to get tables now. It's like winning the lottery. So that's one thing. All right. And then the last one, network with other creators. I don't go to a convention to network with other creators. However, when I get there, I do network with everybody. But it's not something that's that valuable, although I learn a lot and I gain a lot from networking with other creators. But I am not going. I've never said, oh, I can meet these creators, so let me go to this convention. Never. And I doubt it ever will happen. That's just it. There's creators everywhere, and they all have different energies in terms of what you can get from them. So, nah, that's not happening. But that's it. So I love to hear your convention motives, why you go to conventions. If I miss something, tell me your feedback. My number one reason is to make sales. Number two, meet new customers, and then meet professionals there. And then number four is to meet fans, connect with people who have bought my stuff. And then probably the panels. That would be my 5. All right. Jeff Carroll, Sci-Fi Express Lane. Appreciate you. Why do you go to conventions? All right.